Hey everybody, welcome to the DFS Minute, the PM edition tonight, Wednesday, April 29, 2015. I'm your host, Michael Rathburn, aka Rath. Hit me up on Twitter at FantasyWrath. I always want to engage in conversation about DFS, especially baseball, and any strategy or advice or any tips that you need. We're going to get into it really quick. We've got about a 5-minute video. We're going to pump it out. Get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to give you a value pick at every position. Going to give you 3 in the outfield. Going to give you 3 starting pitchers I like, plus 1 value starting pitcher. Talk about the landscape and where I think you should head tonight. Catcher, value. A.J. Pierzynski hitting the middle of that lineup. It is against Jordan Zimmerman, so I don't necessarily like taking hitters against good pitchers. However, in this spot, you're getting Pierzynski at 2.9 on DraftKings. All the salaries I quote tonight are going to be from DraftKings. Again, that's where the majority of my action is going to be, as I'm not playing on FanDuel. However, if you are playing on FanDuel or on Fantasy Aces, a lot of these picks you can carry over to both of those sites. AJ at 2.9, hitting fourth, swinging a hot stick. Probably the best overall value on the board tonight. And if you need to save money and you're going a little bit heavy on pitching, AJ is probably the spot where you want to save some dough. Stephen Vogt's another guy that Benny and Josh talked about. I've been talking about all season, hitting third at 3.7 against Shoemaker. And they are projected to score about 4 runs in that game, so I do like that. Stephen Vogt. Now, the thing about Vogt, if you want to play him at first on DraftKings, you can. So if you want to go AJ and Vogt, I would definitely suggest that you do it if you need to save a little bit of money, because the value play at first tonight is, again, Ike Davis. But I actually like Stephen Vogt better as a value play at 3.7 over Ike Davis at 3.6. So if you're going to go AJ and then go Vogt at first base if you want value. However, that's also if you're going to go with an Oakland stack too, okay? Because the one guy I think you got to have in a lineup tonight is Adrian Gonzalez. And Benny and Josh talked about it. I know Benny's all over this guy tonight. The way that he's swinging the stick right now against right-handed pitching, and the fact that Vogelsong, like Benny said, his nickname is Vogel Dong. And there's also some weather situation in LA where it looks like it's going to be pretty humid. The ball might be flying out. So in that situation, I think the must lock play of the night, again, it's hard to say a lock in daily fantasy baseball, but Adrian Gonzalez is sure looking really good tonight. And we always want that double dong potential, that 2 home run potential type game, because if you get a double dong, chances are you're going to cash in all your contests. So, again, you can go Ike Davis if you want to go Oakland. You want to load up on some Oakland guys because there are some other value. There's always value on Oakland bats, and Shoemaker's off to a pretty bad start. We'll get into that a little bit further. At second base, it's pretty much a dead heat. I don't have a value play here. I've got D. Gordon against Bartolo Colon, hitting leadoff at 4.5. I like Gordon more for cash games, head-to-head and 50-50s. I like Neil Walker at 4.5 against Kyle Hendricks, hitting fourth, more in a tournament because the upside for the home run with Walker is much more prevalent. Obviously, D. Gordon's not going to hit a home run, but D. Gordon can get singles, can get steals, and we know that's valuable on DraftKings more than any other site. So my play at second in head-to-head 50-50, I'm going with D. Gordon, and at tournaments, I'm going to go with Neil Walker. That's how I'm going to mix up the play there. Third base, it's Matt Carpenter. If Adrian Gonzalez is the #1 lock tonight, I think Matt Carpenter is probably #2, especially in 50-50 double-ups and heads-ups. Here's why. 14 out of his 19 games this year, 2 hits or more, and he's also got 1 or more runs in those 14 out of 19 games. I think it might even be 16 out of 19 games. This guy gets a run in double-digit base hits every single time out. Now, he may not have the 25 upside potential, but he's a lock for 10 almost every single night. And that's what you need in 50-50s and heads-ups. You need consistent players with low standard deviation that are going to go out there and grind out positive points every night. Carpenter's at 4.6. He's probably got to get to 10 to get you value, but he can get to 10 almost every single night out. So, again, he gets Aaron Harang, who has pitched well, but you're waiting for the bottom to drop. So I like the situation for Carpenter hitting second tonight. If you're going to go value, go back to the Oakland A's. Marcus Semien, who's a guy that Benny Riccardi, another host here, will tell you, I was all over this guy early in the season. He was ranked in the 40s at middle infield, and I kept saying to him, I said, listen, I've seen this guy play. His numbers are good in the minor leagues. He had a bad second half last year when he came up and he was striking out like crazy. I said, but he does fit the profile of what Billy Beane likes. He does draw walks and he does make contact. He's got a little bit of pop. Now they're moving Semien all the way up to second in the batting order because of the Zobrist injury, and that's what I've been waiting for. So you get Semien at 3.7 tonight, hitting second against Shoemaker. You can play him at short and you can play him at third. So it's just a matter of where you want to fit him in. I'm probably going to roll with him at shortstop because I really like Carpenter and I want all sorts of pieces of Carpenter. If in a tournament, if I need to drop down and save some money, I'm probably going to have to go Semien because he does have some home run potential. And then I'm probably going to go Jimmy Rollins at shortstop, who's 3.8 hitting leadoff against Vogelsong. Definitely got to like that Dodgers lineup tonight, especially the top four guys. If you're playing on FanDuel, you probably got to try to get the top four guys of a Dodgers mini stack in a tournament. And if you're playing in a tournament on DraftKings, especially a qualifier where you're firing multiple entry, you probably want to get the top 6 Dodgers into a lineup and see what happens because the potential of them blowing up and getting 6-7 runs tonight is definitely there. You got these lefty bats, Hendricks swinging a hot stick, Kendrick, and even Van Slyke, who really doesn't do well. But, you know, look, we've got some injuries in that Los Angeles outfield, so there's now opportunities for some cheaper price guys to get in, and that's where we can strike and have value. In the outfield, 3 value plays and 3 money plays. Justin Ruggiano is a guy that I've been touting, and he's been swinging a hot stick. He's hitting second going against the lefty, Wandy Rodriguez. He's at 3.8, so definitely going to plug in Ruggiano tonight wherever I can fit him in. And the guy that – and this is why I do these updates late, okay? Try to get these updates out by 6:30. I'm waiting for all the lineups to come in. Big news tonight, Jock Peterson hit leadoff against Ryan Vogelsong, moves all the way up in the order, hitting leadoff. This is huge. You're getting him at 4K. To me, he's a must-play tonight along with Carpenter and Adrian Gonzalez. These are the core guys that you need to have in your lineups. I would even say you want to, outside of maybe Carpenter, but you know, Gonzalez and Peterson tonight for me are probably going to be in every single lineup that I have. That's just the way that I'm going to roll. I love the value in Peterson. Love this guy. You know, the power speed combo against a weak right-handed pitcher. There's all sorts of potential or upside tonight with Peterson, so I'm all over him. And then Andre Ethier, again, left-handed hitter in the Dodgers lineup, hitting 6 at 3.5K against Vogelsong. Got to have a piece of the Dodgers tonight. Now, in your 50-50s and heads-ups, don't take more than 2 Dodgers. So if you're going to go Dodgers, probably go with Gonzalez and Peterson. Okay, you don't want to have too much exposure to one team in your heads up to 50-50s because if it doesn't work out, your whole team's going to go down in flames, or you're going to need a lot of luck from other guys. It's just not the kind of risk that you want to take on. When you're playing in a tournament, that's where you want to have multiple guys from a team that you like that night because the correlation effect that you have when guys get on base and then the guys behind them knock them all in, you're getting runs, you're getting RBIs, you're getting base hits, you're getting all those points. But if it doesn't work out, it's okay. In a tournament, you're shooting for the moon. In your heads-ups and 50-50s, you're shooting to be better than the one guy you're playing or 50% of the field. So it's a much different strategy and something that we're going to dive into much deeper in future videos and future curve shows. So that's just what I want to tell you guys on how to approach these games and these lineups and how you're constructing them. All right, let's go with the money plays for outfield tonight. We got 3 guys. Nelson Cruz hitting cleanup, 5.5K going against Wandy Rodriguez. Gotta love Nelson Cruz in the boomstick, especially this is probably more of a tournament play for me because you got that double dong potential going against a weak left-handed pitcher. Mark Trumbo, probably another guy that's a tournament play for me at 4.2K going against Jordan Lyles. Good hitting environment in Chase. Saw what the Diamondbacks were able to do last night, and Jordan Lyles is a pretty weak pitcher right now in the major league. So Mark Trumbo, you got that home run upside, more of a tournament play for me. And a guy that I think might be going under the radar tonight because he is priced a little high, but I like Gregory Polanco. And he's had a little bit of a groin issue. Gregory Polanco hitting leadoff at 4.7K going against Kyle Hendricks. I like the spot for Polanco tonight. And what I love about Polanco is that power speed combo hitting at the top of the lineup. Look at his last few games. He's been able to put up double-digit points on DraftKings. So at 4.7, we need him to come in at 10 in our 50-50s and our heads-ups. we need them to be 15 or higher in the tournament. And I think that potential is there on both sides. So I think you can roll with him in tournaments and in your 50-50 cash games tonight. Let's roll over to pitching real quick. Zach Greinke is my #1 guy on the board. Felix Hernandez would be #2. I think you got to roll with either one of those guys, but I do like Greinke at home versus Felix on the road. And then Carlos Martinez. I know some people are backing off because the Phillies have loaded up the lineup today with lefties, but the lefties aren't very good. And if you can avoid Utley and you can avoid Howard, the only thing that worries me about Carlos Martinez tonight is the potential for him to give up the long ball. If he walks some lefties and he gets guys on base and Utley or Howard hit a home run, that could do him in. But the upside is huge. The K potential is huge. Martinez is a guy that I think I'm not going to play in 50-50s and heads-ups. I think I'm going to go with a value guy, and that guy's going to be Bartolo Colon. Benny talks about Bartolo Colon all the time, and as far as giving you a floor, in the situation that Colon is in tonight, I think you want to lock in points with Greinke and Felix or with Colon. So Greinke, Colon, Felix, Colon. I think that's the direction that you want to go. And Martinez is a guy that I'm going to roll out in tournaments, probably with Greinke, because I want that upside. And if something happens and he blows up, so be it. But, you know, you can go with a Greinke, Carlos Martinez pitching combination and load up on some Dodgers and then squeeze in some of the other guys like maybe from Oakland. That might be a direction that you want to go tonight. So that's it for tonight. Want to wish everybody the best of luck tonight in all your contests. And as we always say here at Roto Curve, stay classy, DFS.